Amid the glittering haze of a Los Angeles evening in early summer 2025, where the iconic Hollywood sign loomed like a sentinel over the sprawling city of dreams and disappointments, Harrison Ford made his way to the El Capitan Theater, the historic venue that had hosted countless stars but few as legendary as the 83-year-old icon whose gravelly voice and rugged charm had defined action cinema for decades. Harrison, fresh off the promotional trail for his latest Marvel venture, Captain America: Brave New World, where he stepped into the formidable shoes of Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, a role that blended his signature intensity with a touch of political intrigue amid the MCU's ever-expanding universe, arrived in a sleek black town car, his salt and pepper hair neatly combed and his eyes sharp behind aviator glasses that hinted at the pilot's license he still cherished from his younger days. The film, a high-stakes blockbuster pitting Captain America against global threats with Harrison's character evolving into the hulking Red Hulk, had already generated buzz at test screenings, promising to revitalize his career in the superhero era while allowing him to explore themes of power, legacy, and redemption that mirrored his own life's narrative, from carpentry gigs in his 30s to global stardom via Star Wars and Indiana Jones, surviving plane crashes, heart surgeries, and the relentless march of time. Jimmy Kimmel Live, the late-night juggernaut known for its blend of celebrity schmoozing and satirical swipes at pop culture and politics, was taping that night, the studio buzzing with an audience of 300 eager fans, many clad in Marvel gear, as the house band kicked off with a funky rendition of the Captain America theme to herald Harrison's entrance. Jimmy, the ever-charismatic host with his quick wit and liberal-leaning commentary that had earned him Emmys and a loyal following, greeted Harrison with a bear hug on the blue couch, the set adorned with subtle nods to the film, shield props and a faux Hulk arm, setting a playful tone as the interview began. Harrison, seated comfortably with a glass of water, launched into anecdotes about his grueling transformation for the role, joking about the prosthetics and CGI that made him look like a walking tomato, drawing laughs from the crowd as Jimmy probed about working with Anthony Mackie and the challenges of joining a franchise at his age. The rapport flowed easily at first, Harrison's dry humor shining through as he recounted a mishap on set where a stunt double's mishandled prop nearly hulked out prematurely, but as the segment deepened, Jimmy, sensing the viral potential, pivoted to Harrison's storied history with franchises, slyly referencing his infamous reluctance to discuss Star Wars over the years, a touchstone that had led to comedic walkouts in the past. Harrison, ever the curmudgeon with a heart of gold, chuckled initially but warned, "Jimmy, we're here for the new stuff, let's keep the old galaxy far, far away." Undeterred, Jimmy pressed on with a quip about how Harrison's Ross character embodied the grumpy old man trope fans loved in Indian Han Solo, adding a layer about Hollywood's woke evolution forcing aging stars to adapt or fade. The audience tittered, but Harrison's expression hardened, his voice dropping to that familiar rumble, "Listen, kid, I've been dodging lasers and Nazis since before you were in diapers. I don't need lectures on adapting, I've reinvented myself more times than you've rewritten your monologues." The tension crackled as Jimmy, smile unwavering, doubled down, joking about Harrison's environmental activism clashing with Marvel's corporate machine, suggesting, Thunderbolt Ross fighting for the planet. Or just another billionaire playboy in disguise. Harrison, his patience fraying like an old script, leaned forward, retorting sharply, "That's rich coming from a guy who flies private to read cue cards. I've built dams and saved forests while you're saving face with cheap shots." Gasps rippled through the studio as the exchange escalated, Jimmy countering with a barb about Harrison's outdated views on climate denial in past interviews. Though Harrison had long been an outspoken conservationist, the host twisted it for laughs, prompting Harrison to stand abruptly, his chair scraping loudly. "Enough of this circus," he growled, microphone still attached as he gestured emphatically, "I've got real work to do, fixing what's broken in this world, not pandering to it." Security, alerted by producers via earpiece, moved in swiftly but respectfully, escorting the legend off stage amid a mix of applause and stunned silence, the cameras cutting to commercial as Jimmy ad-libbed a flustered, "Well, that was explosive." Backstage, Harrison's team, including his wife Callista Flockhart, who had been watching from the wings, rallied with water and words of support, while his publicist fielded calls from Marvel execs concerned about the buzz. The clip hit social media like a lightsaber strike, #HarrisonWalks trending globally within minutes, fans divided between hailing his authenticity and decrying Jimmy's provocation, with old clips of past Kimmel appearances resurfacing to frame it as a pattern. Harrison, en route to his ranch in a waiting SUV, shook his head with a wry smile, muttering to Callista, same old song, just a new verse. The incident, born of generational and ideological friction in an industry obsessed with relevance, transformed a promo spot into a cultural moment, boosting Captain America pre-sales as audiences flocked to see the man who wouldn't bend. Subplots unfolded in the chaos. A young Marvel fan in the audience, inspired by Harrison's stand, started a petition for more mature MCU storylines. Jimmy's writers scrambled to spin the segment for the next show, and Harrison called his old friend George Lucas, laughing it off as déjà vu all over again. The video script captured the drama in vivid detail, close-ups of Harrison's furrowed brow, audience reactions in split screen, flashbacks to his Star Wars heyday and activist exploits like founding the Conservation International Board, emphasizing themes of legacy versus modernity in Hollywood's relentless spotlight. Dialogues extended into raw, unfiltered barbs, Harrison quoting lines from Blade Runner to underscore his disdain for scripted facades, Jimmy retorting with pop references that fell flat. As the first act peaked, the kicked off narrative solidified Harrison's image as the unyielding everyman hero, his heated comments a defiant roar against the late-night machine, setting the stage for a backlash that would redefine his twilight years. Extended explorations included behind-the-scenes tensions from pre-interview briefs where boundaries were ignored, emotional reflections on aging in fame, and viral memes blending Hulk rage with Indy's whip cracks, ensuring a narrative rich in character depth and cultural commentary that captivated from fade into cliffhanger. Dawn broke over the Hollywood Hills the morning after Harrison Ford's stormy exit from Jimmy Kimmel Live, casting a golden light on a city abuzz with the night's unforeseen drama. As TMZ vans swarmed the El Capitan and social media erupted in a frenzy of clips, analyses, and hot takes that propelled the story to the top of global trends by 8 a.m. Harrison, rising early at his Santa Barbara ranch despite the late hour, reviewed the footage over black coffee and fresh fruit, Callista by his side offering a steadying hand as their blended family, including son Liam from his first marriage and the twins they adopted, sent supportive texts, turning the potential crisis into a family bonding moment over virtual brunch. The actor, whose career had weathered scandals from on-set injuries to tabloid divorces, chose silence initially, letting his team issue a measured statement. Harrison values honest conversation but won't engage in ambush journalism. He's focused on bringing authentic stories to audiences. Jimmy, meanwhile, faced a whirlwind in his Hollywood home, ABC executives convening via Zoom to assess the fallout, with advertisers like Disney, ironically tied to Marvel, expressing unease over the clash potentially souring the Captain America hype. While Jimmy's opening monologue that night attempted levity, "Last night, Harrison Ford showed me why he's the king of action," he stormed off like it was the end of Raiders, drawing polite chuckles but sparking #boycott Kimmel from Ford loyalists. Legal whispers circulated as Harrison's attorneys, the same firm that had navigated his environmental lawsuits, weighed a multi-million-dollar suit for defamation, alleging the host's twisted portrayal of his activism damaged his conservation legacy, with leaked emails from producers revealing a deliberate push to stir the pot for ratings in a streaming war era. Fans polarized online, conservative outlets like Fox News framing it as Hollywood's intolerance for boomer truth-tellers, liberal voices on CNN critiquing Harrison's cranky demeanor, and neutral Marvel enthusiasts launching petitions for an apology episode that amassed 750,000 signatures overnight. Subplots enriched the narrative. Jimmy's head writer, a young progressive, penned a contrite internal memo questioning the ethics of gotcha interviews, inspiring industry-wide debates at panels like the Television Critics Association. Harrison surprised a group of young environmental activists with a virtual Q&A, channeling the energy into his nonprofit work, and a Kimmel staffer leaked audio of the post-clash green room tension, humanizing Jimmy's rattled surprise. The video script visualized this maelstrom through dynamic montages, news chyrons scrolling, tweet storms animating, Harrison horseback riding at dawn symbolizing his grounded spirit contrasted with Jimmy's frantic prep calls, voiceovers delving into themes of media sensationalism versus personal integrity in an age of viral outrage. Harrison's arc deepened with private reflections, confiding in director Ridley Scott about past interview battles, while Jimmy grappled in therapy sessions with the balance of humor and respect, fictionalized scenes showing his evolution. As days turned to weeks, the lawsuit settled out of court for a seven-figure sum plus a public ABC acknowledgement of overreach, but the cultural ripple was profound. Captain America, Brave New World, trailer views doubled, Harrison's Instagram, rarely used, flooded with fan art of Red Hulk smashing talk show sets, and Jimmy's ratings fluctuated wildly before stabilizing on edgier, more balanced guests. Extended dialogues from deposition reenactments captured Harrison's eloquent defense of his activism, family scenes where he taught resilience to his grandkids, and celebrity endorsements, from Spielberg praising his grit to Mackie joking about hulking out on bad hosts. Backlash included sponsor pullouts countered by Harrison's calls for dialogue, and viral challenges where fans reenacted the walkout with indie props. In this pivotal second paragraph, the script escalated through courtroom drama, social media timelines, and reconciliatory overtures like a tentative email exchange hinting at future collaboration, crystallizing the heated comments as a catalyst for Harrison's renewed relevance. Transforming a front into advocacy in Hollywood's cutthroat arena, with every layer of fallout adding nuance to the tale of an icon unbowed. By the time autumn leaves began to turn in the canyons surrounding Los Angeles several months after Harrison Ford's explosive departure from Jimmy Kimmel's stage, the incident had morphed from scandal to legend, reshaping conversations around aging icons, media accountability, and the clash of old Hollywood grit with new entertainment norms, as Captain America: Brave New World shattered box office records upon release, grossing over $1.2 billion worldwide and earning Harrison a surprise Emmy nod for his promotional resilience. The settlement funds bolstered Harrison's environmental causes, expanding Conservation International's initiatives with new grants for reforestation projects that he championed in a TED Talk, Standing Ground in a Changing World, where he reflected on the Kimmel clash as a reminder that words can wound deeper than whips. Jimmy, transformed by the experience, revamped his show's format with legacy spotlights, segments honoring veteran stars without provocation, his ratings rebounding as audiences appreciated the maturity, culminating in a joint charity gala where he and Harrison shared a stage for the first time since, toasting with non-alcoholic drinks to Bridges Over Banter, a moment captured in a viral photo that softened critics on both sides. Harrison, at 83, embraced semi-retirement with gusto, directing a documentary on climate heroes and reprising Indy in a cameo for a fan service short. His book, No Time for Fools: A Life in Action, debuting at #1 with chapters dissecting the interview as a turning point for authenticity and fame. Fans, once divided, united in admiration. #Harrison Hero trending during awards season where he collected a Lifetime Achievement Oscar, quipping in his speech, "I've dodged boulders, aliens, and bad questions, still standing." Subplots resolved with heartfelt closure. The young fans' petition evolved into a youth advocacy group mentored by Harrison. Jimmy's writer launched a podcast on ethical comedy, crediting the incident, and Callista and Jimmy's wife Molly bonded over Hollywood survival stories at a women's empowerment event. The video script soared to its finale in an orchestral montage, red carpet triumphs, ranch sunsets with Harrison piloting a small plane, reflective interviews weaving growth from conflict, voiceovers emphasizing themes of redemption as the true superpower. Harrison's closing narration: "Life's an adventure, face the storms, and you'll find the treasure." Jimmy's arc concluded with a solo special on interviewing legends, fostering cross-generational empathy. As 2026 unfolded, Harrison's influence inspired policy, testifying on environmental bills, while Jimmy's show snagged a Peabody for evolving discourse. Extended epilogues envisioned futures: Harrison's eco-adventure series, Jimmy's retirement roast featuring Ford cameos, and a cultural shift toward respectful celebrity engagements. The narrative, from fiery expulsion to enduring legacy, honored the title's drama with profound uplift, proving that even heated comments could forge unbreakable paths in a fractured industry.